Good morning. As much as I encourage you to care about other people, one very important subject that I teach is the oxygen mask theory. And what is the oxygen mask? That is taking care of yourself first. Yes, you were born in that body where you are right now. That means that you should be taking care of that body and that soul and that mind all your life. That should be number one in your life. Not your child, not your parents, not your loved one. Number one is always you, without exceptions. Yes, there is such thing as sacrifice, and if you have a little baby, you have no choice but to look after the baby, and if your parents are sick, you have to take care of your parents, and if you see a person on the road needing help and you can help, then yes, you can sacrifice a little bit of your time to help them. But with the theory of oxygen mask that you are all familiar with, which comes from the airplane, when you sit in the airplane and they tell you if the level of oxygen drops, there will be a mask from above, and you should put on your own oxygen mask before putting on the mask on your child or helping other people. Why? Because breathing is important. If you're not able to breathe, you will die. We do not go as extreme as breathing here, but some of us sacrifice our whole life for other people, sacrifice a lot of our time for causes that are not really that important when you look at how they make you feel or how they do not make you feel. Say a job that does not bring you satisfaction, happiness, or helping people a little bit too much when you neglect your own needs and yourself. There should be a good balance. You can't go, well, I don't have time for anybody because all I have to do is look after myself and, cherish myself and nourish myself and do everything just for myself because that is me and I'm number one in my universe. And everything rotates around me. That's not what I'm preaching here. What am I preaching? I'm preaching the simple take care of yourself first theory. But taking care of yourself should be in a proportion only when it is enough for you to comfortably breathe. Not just get by through life, but comfortably get by through life. Have enough sleep, have enough love, have enough rest, so that you do not get exhausted and energy-less in the end. Try to think with me now. Are you breathing fine? Do you feel that you have enough? That you are looking after yourself enough? And after reading your questionnaires, I realized that not many of us are happy with ourselves. Not many of us feel that we love ourselves enough. And this is exactly where the mask comes in. What do you define as your oxygen mask? Okay, let's consider Lena as an example. I think health is very important, because if we're not healthy, we can't help other people and we become a burden for other people, which is worse, and we have to live with pain or discomfort or heaviness. So physical health and mental health and spiritual health and everything else is past the oxygen mask. If you are full of energy, if you are happy, if you are feeling your 100%, you can get up and do anything for other people. If you're not feeling 100%, getting up and doing everything for other people will make you feel worse, because you started off in a minus. So to get up to the plus will take a longer journey. And talking about journeys, life is like taking a vacation. You go traveling for, let's say, 2 weeks, taking a vacation. You choose a destination, and the purpose for you is to learn and enjoy. And this is what life is, exactly, precisely that. Learn and enjoy. Do not harm other people, and do something good for what you see and who you pass on your way. Now, if you go on a vacation, you want to You want to see new things, you want to learn, you want to enjoy, you want to be happy, you want to experience new foods, new sights, new culture, and so on. As you get through life, it should be the same. Am I enjoying life? Am I learning a lot? Or am I racing through it, thinking of other people and neglecting myself and forgetting to actually enjoy life, forgetting to learn, to look around, because I don't have any time to look around. I'm racing to pay off the mortgage, or to make other people happy, to send my kids to university, to I don't know, whatever that might be. Let's not forget to enjoy our life. To enjoy life, what do you have to do? You have to define what your essential needs are, what your oxygen mask is. As I said, health on all 3 levels is number 1, and it might be number 1 for me and not number 1 for you, but I think for all of us, if we suffer any sort of pain, physical, mental or spiritual, we can't think straight, we can't help other people, because we have our own pain in the way, which stops us, which creates barriers, which pushes others away. So getting rid of that pain, solving that pain, is number 1. And whatever level of your pain is, it is possible to solve the problem, and only you can solve the problem with a little bit of help and inspiration and motivation and advice from other people, and love as well. But you can solve the problem in 99% of the cases, no matter how serious the problem is. And this is really good, isn't it? It's good. First, you are there, you are the person who can solve the problem. Second, you don't really need anything from the outside. Third, you don't really need to change many things physically. You can do it right there, right now, with the right set of mind, by doing the right things. How do you know what these right things are? How do you know where this pain comes from? All the answers are there inside you. All the answers you know. You just haven't asked the questions yet. Why? Because you've been racing and pushing yourself and rushing through life, through tasks, through each moment, not really concentrating, not really facing the problem, not really being there, not identifying what the cause is. And when it rolls into a big snowball, it's harder to see what is inside. So if that has started 5 days ago, it's easier to see what the cause was of this stress, of this discomfort, of the sleep disorder. If that started 5 years ago, it's a lot harder to see and remember and identify and analyze what was this core of the big snowball that it rolled into. What can we do? We can take our time to slowly remove the layers of the snow on the ball and get to the core. We do it mentally. We do it through sitting still, quietly, facing the boredom, facing the silence, facing the darkness, facing the fear, facing ourselves, being there alone, being vulnerable to all the darkness, the fear, the loneliness, the feelings that will hurt. We are brave enough to face it. We are brave enough to be able to look into our snowball, what is inside it that makes my life not 100% complete and does not make me 100% balanced and happy. I know that my purpose in this world is to enjoy life and learn and make other people happy. Now, am I really enjoying life? 100%. Are you? If you are, stay right there. You're on the right track. You have nothing to change. If you say, well, not really, then you have to start removing the layers. And nothing can be important than this task. Nothing. Your work, your family, other people, exercise, diet, whatever. That is nothing compared to knowing what is inside the core of the big problem, of the problem of stress, not being able to sleep, having experienced some sort of mental, spiritual or physical pain. Where did it start? What caused it? If there is an effect, there must have been a cause somewhere. In most cases, we can get to that cause and we can change it, we can work on it. What was it that caused it? Was it something that happened in childhood or when you were a teenager? What went wrong? Where was this breaking point? Was it always like that, as you can remember? Or did it sort of grow out of proportion at some stage? What caused the change? Lots of questions and lots of headache, but it is worth it. It is minor pain compared to all the years of slow sort of aching and not enjoying life. Once you get to the core, you are halfway, even more, you're 80% closer to solving the problem at its core. And once it's solved, the energy turns outwards. The understanding of the problem is the solution of the problem. If you understand why did it start to hurt, why did I not answer my parents' expectations, why did I feel the pressure from my family to be something that I never became, why did I start drinking, what was that void inside me? Where did it come from? Where did it start? When did it start? What caused the start? Was there some silly thought that I did not fit in, that other people were better than me? Or was it the thought that I was better than other people, and so on? Was it the thought that I was weird, that I was unusual, that I was misunderstood by people, that I was not loved? Was it a loss of a loved person? And once we understand, we start to ask ourselves questions like, is my reaction to the problem reasonable? So something bad happened to me in childhood, maybe when I was 13. Somebody did something to me that they were not supposed to do, perhaps. And this is just an example, right? That was one day in my life. That was actually not even one day, but 2 hours of my life. That happened, I don't know, 40 years ago, 30 years ago. And that has affected my whole life. Is this reaction reasonable to what has happened? The answer will be obvious. No, it's not. It was something like a coconut dropping on your head. Something that unfortunately has happened to you. It might have left scars, physical scars. It might have not. Most likely, we react to events that do not leave physical scars. They only leave spiritual and mental scars. Now imagine that, not imagine, but do realize that your whole body has changed since that time. 10 years ago you did not have the same cells. All the cells have replaced themselves. Yeah, maybe in your teeth somewhere, sure. But all the cells in the skin, in the blood, in the eyes, in the tongue, in the hair, they have all changed. They're different cells. So you are not the same body you were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and 20 years ago. You were a different person. You were a 20-year-old, now you're a 40-year-old. You are not that boy anymore. Maybe if it is, well, I think that's quite a comforting thought, that we were not the people we were, and our reactions to certain events were from a point of view of that 20-year-old, not of this 40-year-old, of this 30-year-old. The way some people have a guilt trip of, how could I do this? Why did I do this? Why did I make all these mistakes? It wasn't you. You can say, why did he make all those mistakes? Because he was young and stupid and unexperienced. That's why he did all these strange things that you wouldn't have done now, with all your experience and all your knowledge and all your compassion and all your wisdom of a 40-year-old. But a 10-year-old kid would, and a 20-year-old kid did. Right? No reason to blame yourself now for what you have done or you have not done. Because it wasn't you, it was somebody else in a totally different body. The soul is the same, the body has changed. From their point of view, it was the right thing to do at that time. And later, as you grow older, as you gain experience, you become wiser. You know that that was maybe not the right thing to do, and now you wouldn't have done it, but then, oh well. And remember when you were 3, you peed in your pants? You wouldn't do it now. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We all did that. We crawled under the table, we touched something hot, and it hurt. When we were 2, when we were 1, when we were 3. Now we would not do it because we know better. Same with the past events. You must have hurt somebody, maybe. Maybe it was your parents. Maybe you were rude to somebody. Maybe you hurt a woman, hurt other people. At that time, it was the right thing to do with your experience and your knowledge and your wisdom level. Now you wouldn't do it anymore. We learn. We learn on this journey, but we do not forget to enjoy the journey too. In the answer, do you enjoy the journey? Do you enjoy your life? The answer is obvious. It's either yes or no. I don't think there's a maybe sometimes. It's either more than half the time I do enjoy it, or more than half the time I do not enjoy it. Well, I enjoy it all the time. I mostly do not enjoy it. Do you enjoy the journey? Our physical circumstances rarely are the cause of why are we not enjoying life. Mostly it comes from here. Fortunately. Why fortunately? Because if you change this, and this is easier to change than the physical circumstances, suddenly that little house you're living in will seem like the best house in the world. Here you go. It's only 1 room. And the car that you do not have, well, you don't really need. That is fine. And you're happy to be doing good for the environment, for not driving, for not polluting the air, and for exercising a little extra by walking to work. Suddenly you don't feel sorry for yourself. Things can change like this. You do not need to change the physical environment, the physical sources. If you really don't like the place, you have to realize that you're not a tree. You don't have roots, physical roots that grow into the ground and hold you to the soil. You have 2 legs and a lot of energy to be able to walk away from any situation, from anything that you do not like. If you cannot make yourself like the situation you're in, walk away from it, because it will cause you more damage than walking away and fear of the unknown, of what's going to happen. Am I really going to find a good job? Am I really going to find a better place to live? Yes, you are, because if you believe you will, you will. And if you are positive, open and loving towards other people, opportunities will come. If you're not happy with something physical around yourself, you can walk away because you don't have the roots grown into the ground that hold you to that one place. Lucky that we're not trees, aren't we? Because a tree has to stand on exactly the same spot all its life. And whatever is built next to it, be it a house, a factory, a school, is going to stay right there and it can't run away. But lucky us, we are mobile. And we were made mobile to move, not to stay in one spot forever. If you have a fear in you of what if what I find next is worse than what I have now, that is something very much destructive. This is the inward directed energy. If it's outward directed, surely I will be able to find something a little bit better than what I have now, or a lot better than what I have now. Just walk. And always you can come back to your spot where you were standing. And a little bit abstract and a little bit too much today, isn't it? Key points. 1. You can walk away from any situation because you don't have roots. 2. you are on this journey to enjoy it, to enjoy and learn. Are you enjoying and learning? If not, sit quietly until you know the answer of why, what is in the core of the problem. Where did I go wrong? Why am I not enjoying this life? The answer will come when you ask yourself a question straight. Why am I not enjoying life? What's wrong with me? There is nothing wrong with me. There is something wrong inside, some little virus, and you are the doctor that is going to kill that virus by addressing the problem. Am I overreacting to a certain event that has happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago, an event that I think shouldn't have happened, an event that was a fault of other people, an event that has ruined my life, an event that I think is unfair to me? Am I overreacting to it? Most of the time you will come up with excuses of why you're not overreacting to it, because it was an awful event. And that is something to react to exactly in the way you're reacting to it. But the true answer is, yes, you are overreacting because you have changed, your body has changed, the circumstances have changed, and the time has passed. It is time to let go of it. Time to let go of it, time to forget it, time to digest it and get it out of your system. Just like some rotten food that you have eaten. Bleh. It hurts, and next day it's gone. 3 days later it feels fine, like it was never in you. This is what should have happened to any negative, shocking or unpleasant events that happened in the past. In other words, get over it. And the sooner you start to push yourself to get over it, the sooner you start to dig into it without being afraid of reliving those moments, reliving those fears, those emotions and that pain again. When you, okay, I am going to face it again. I'm going to go right back there into that moment. I'm going to relive it again and get over it. From that moment on, I'm going to choose, consciously choose, that I'm going to react to that event differently. I think today is going to be a long lecture. This is about the oxygen mask and so on. And that is your oxygen mask. Taking care of that inner something is your oxygen mask. Taking care of yourself, number one. You are not 100% of a good husband that you could have been if you have pain in you. If you did not have the pain, you would have been even a better husband. This is what I mean. Reach your potential by solving your inner problems, by letting go of certain pain and attachments to the past events, self-pity, the feeling of unfairness, the feeling of that shouldn't never happen, the feeling of, well, my parents weren't good enough, or I was not born into a rich family, or so on. Now we are going to talk about one more thing, and this is a part of a lot of us, a lot of my audience, because we have started with this, and now I have to delete quite a few profiles of the site because some people seem to not understand the message of keeping it clean and general, to save our reputation, to appeal to the general audience. That means we don't say anything which a general audience could not relate to start with. In your username, in the 3 keywords that you choose for yourself, there shall be nothing that would point out that you are different from the rest of the group. And of course we are, but different in a very strange way that other people would misunderstand to start with. Later, as I said, when you connect to the person in private, you can tell them anything you like about yourself, about your special buttons, about your special needs and so on. But at first, when you come to a big party, you don't shout out, "Hello everybody, call me a cat." please, because I like to be a cat. It's like, what's wrong with him? Anyway, you come to a party and you put on your social face. This is what I want you to do, put on your social face. Do not be so open to start with, because you do not know people and people do not know you yet. So it is polite to say hello and smile and not scream out that you want to be called a cat because you love cats. And you know what I'm referring to with the cat, nor a mouse. Anyway, wanted to show you something today. Got some news for you. I think you would like to see that. Maybe not, but you have to see it anyway, because I'm going to show it to you. Here. Look. Captured. Finally captured, and has gone to a new home this morning. Next door. Well, not too close by, but there's a farm, and they have chickens and horses right around the corner there. So our little ratty has gone to a new home. Plenty of food there, and I'm sure will make a happy new home. Kind of sad of letting it go. It was so cute. It was so cute and furry with a long tail and big round black eyes, and looked at me like, why are you kicking me out? I thought we could share the house. It was really aggressive. Even in the cage, it was like, shh, please don't send me to a new home. Kind of sad to let it go, but anyway. Yes, important subject of why we are putting on the social mask, the social happy face, the social open happy face of making steps towards getting to know other people first and then revealing our core. Sure, you can look inside me. If you let me look inside you too. Remember, I ask you personal questions. I also write the answers to the same questions, that you can know the same amount of personal information and even more from me. As you read on the forum, all sorts of confessions. Oh well, okay. Things we used to do when we were young. Now, let's say that your journey, your life, and your answer is, no, I'm not happy on my journey, I'm not enjoying my journey. And you don't think that it comes from any past experience or certain event that has happened before that made you that way. You think it is inborn, that you have some sort of difference from other people, and you do not really know how to let it out, because people do not understand, and you are afraid that people will feel and see that difference in you, so you try to hide it, you try to suppress it. Sometimes in the early age you wish it was not there because it was weird. You could not find yourself in a group of people and feeling that you are really part of the group, that you are the same as everybody else. Well, now you are part of a group and you are pretty much the same as everybody else in that sense. Yeah, different colors, but hey, basically the same theme. Not all members of the group, most members of the group. So you are in the same group. And you read answers, you feel, well, there's one thing we have in common, but everything else is different. Where is the answer? Where did that come from in me? I wonder too. There is no direct answer, but whatever is inside you should be able to come out. If you have a feminine side of you, and we all have a feminine side of you, or a masculine side of us, that should be able to express itself when it needs to. And sure, a man can dance, a man can cook, a man can cry. That is the expression of your feminine side. Nothing shall be suppressed. Now, there is this other side that we're talking about. That should also have an outlet, but an outlet that is acceptable to other people. If you have a feminine side in you and you really feel like wearing a miniskirt, you're a man and you really feel like wearing a miniskirt and putting on makeup, you would not do it. You would let this feminine side out of yourself by having an open conversation with your wife, understanding, maybe crying, things like this, something that is socially acceptable. Now with this other side, there are always ways to let it out in a socially acceptable way. What I have been teaching you, helping women, helping your mother, doing something for your female co-workers, like a girls only party that you will sponsor, buy everybody coffee and ice cream just for the girls at work. Why? I don't know why. Just to let that side out in me. And that is very much socially acceptable. The non-socially acceptable part is there still, but it is something to start converting into something that can be accepted readily and easily by other people. You want to do something for me? It shall not be jumping on the spot. It shall be something that I want people to do for me. Let's say, buy me a pair of earrings. It's an easy one. Or come and sweep my floor. That is something that is practical, useful, and pleases a woman. And very much socially acceptable. I can say to my girlfriends, you know what, this nice gentleman came to my house with a fruit salad, which I really enjoyed, and helped me sweep the floor, helped me rearrange the furniture, whatever else. That is socially acceptable. I'm proud of it. You are proud of what you have done, and you have released that energy of doing something for a woman, of serving a woman. Now, if what you are willing to do is not socially acceptable, that is being selfish, projecting your fantasy onto a female, and most likely getting her really confused and shocked with what you have just told her or showed her or explained to her. And the reaction can be very much disappointing. The reaction can be, ugh. And that hurts. That hurts you, because that is your inside. That is what inside you, and you wanted to express it. You want her to understand. You want her to play along. Yet she rejected this side. But she said she loves you. How can she reject? How can she reject? She can reject if she doesn't really understand. And she doesn't really understand if you do not speak her language. And her language is the socially acceptable language. So if you say, darling, I really enjoy helping, and I would love to do something for you and your girlfriends. Why don't you have a party and I will serve you today? Now, excellent. That sounds like such a good idea. You sure you want to do this? Yes, I think I would enjoy that. If you tell me exactly what to do with the party, would you like this sort of party or this sort of party? Would you like tea or coffee? Would you like cake or fruit? And she makes the choice, and you do the party. And you serve at the party, girls are happy. You are dressed properly, maybe a white shirt with a little bow tie. This is as far as it can go. No, you're not wearing an apron over stockings. You are dressed properly. You are doing the good thing. Everybody can understand. Everybody appreciates what you have done, your service, your sacrifice of your time and effort for them. And what will the girls say? Well, this is excellent. You're so lucky to have such a nice friend, or such a nice boyfriend, such a nice partner. Can't believe he just did this for us. He even washed the dishes. They're going to go home and tell their husbands, you know what? Lena has a friend who helped her make a whole party for us, and we didn't have to do anything, just enjoy the time, chatting and sharing, and we were served coffee and cake, and then he even washed the dishes. That is so nice. And the guys will not say, what a weird dude, because women are admiring this weird dude, and he's no longer weird dude, he's the nice dude. This is the socially acceptable language that women can understand, that everybody else can understand, without mixing it with something too different, like speaking Chinese to me. And of course I will not understand and say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm sorry, I do not speak your language. But if you explain it to me in English, aha, I see what you mean. So I want you to speak in the language, in the common language that everybody else understands. Right? Right. Where does that take us? To 35 minutes of video. Okay. Feel free to write your replies on the forum without using any words. You see how I try to talk about a certain area of life, a certain part of us, without making it sound too weird, or without making it sound like something unacceptable to the other part of the audience, to the general audience. It's still okay. It's still okay if we word it differently. And if we talk about it, we are okay to talk about it, as long as we don't use the keywords that are seen as something else by the general audience. We don't want to create any difference. We are one. We are general. We have normal jobs. We lead normal lives. We are just like everybody else. And everybody has its own unique sides. So let's not concentrate on the difference, but on similarities first, right? To build the connections, make them stronger. Thank you for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.